Election Day 2014 voters are at the polls picking New Mexico's next governor, U.S. Senator, and a whole lot more. The ballot is lengthy, and so are a lot of the lines at polling locations. Things have been fairly smooth in Bernalillo County, but it's a different story in Sandoval County.
We have team coverage of today's election from both counties. We start with News 13's Alex Goldsmith. He's in Sandoval County with why some voters there were turned away from the polls. Alex?
Dean, a voting glitch here in the county left some voters frustrated, unable to cast a ballot and leaving those polling places. It also had Republicans crying foul in an election day hearing. Rio Rancho voters are supposed to be able to vote at one of 17 different places in the city, but outside of the city, in the county, people were assigned to specific polling places. In the computer system, one group of voters who actually live in Rio Rancho were shown to live outside of the city. Sandoval County caught that problem in mid-October and alerted the election vendor. But that glitch was never fixed. And when those voters, at least a dozen people, likely more, showed up at polling places in the city, they were told they couldn't vote. Then when poll workers tried to print them provisional ballots, those ballots wouldn't print. It's still unclear why that happened. The problem wasn't solved for several hours, and some left without voting. So Republicans took the county to court, and late this afternoon, the judge reminded Sandoval County it is required to make provisional ballots available for voters.
I've talked to a couple that say they went to 3 or 4 different polling locations before they finally found one that they could actually vote at. So it's a problem.
I'm sorry that that happened, but then again, it wasn't our fault, you know.
The judge agreed, finding the vendor Automated Election Services responsible for the problem and not the county. Now, we made a call to that company this afternoon to try and get some answers for you, but we haven't heard back yet. Back to you.
All right, Alex, thank you. Now, this is not the first court battle, of course, over voting problems in Sandoval County. 2 years ago, you'll remember, some voters had to wait 5 hours to cast a ballot there. The county only had 15 voting machines and 5 polling sites. But Republicans sued, and for this election, the county added more than 70 voting machines and 12 polling sites.
In Bernalillo County, the issue is the long lines because of a big ballot. News 13's Chris McKee continues our team coverage from Washington Middle School, where the lines are getting longer as work lets out. Chris?
Yeah, Jessica, there is about a 25 to 30 minute wait here at Washington Middle School right now, one of the busiest poll sites all day. We were hearing reports that La Cueva actually has one of the busiest with about an hour wait, but so far voters say for the most part voting has gone smooth today.
Felt good about voting, a little bit longer line, which is kind of a pain, but is good.
No, not at all. I was really more nervous, and it wasn't that bad. They made it easy.
Now, those were voters at Manzano Mesa Elementary today, which had about a 25-minute for most of the day to get a ballot. The interesting thing is that the school had about 52 different booths for people to vote in. However, at one time, there was only about a fifth of those actually being used all at once. Everyone else was waiting in line. Voters say the longest part of the process was actually getting the ballot because it takes a while to verify those voters, give them instructions, and then print the thing out. It's double-sided and long as well, with a lot of different races, a lot of different candidates, and only 3 to 4 election techs are working at each site. At many sites, getting everyone through the setup has been longer than normal. Bandelier Elementary had problems today as well when their printer ran out of ink, and we heard reports as well that Double Eagle Elementary is having same printer problems tonight, slowing things down to about an hour wait, and that has been to the disappointment of some voters.
Well, it seems kind of ridiculous, like I said, in this day and age. You know, it's 2014. We've had computers for however long, printers for however long, and the fact that they wouldn't be prepared for something like this just seems a little bit far-fetched.
Now, Bernalillo County says they have been responding to the problems at sites like down printers when they hear about them, and they hope to keep lines at about a 30-minute wait maximum. Most of the sites in the county are like that. If you are waiting for too long, there are other places you can go and vote as well. The Bernalillo County website right now shows that there are about 30 of the 69 voter sites total with a 0 to 10-minute wait. Back to you.
Chris? Now, at least 139,000 people have voted in Bernalillo County so far this election. That includes early voting and today's vote so far. In the last gubernatorial election in 2010, more than 203 people voted in Bernalillo County. Statewide, that number was more than 607,000. We called the Secretary of State's office to get numbers for this year, but they don't have them yet.
One of the races people are watching closely is the race for New Mexico's governor. Republican Governor Susana Martinez is hoping for a second term. She's running against Democrat and Attorney General Gary King. A recent poll shows Martinez ahead of King by more than 13 points. King's campaign says they are not giving up and they are hoping to prove the polls wrong. King just picked up an endorsement from former President Bill Clinton. Martinez has had campaign visits from New Jersey Governor Chris Christie and former presidential candidate Mitt Romney.
The race for U.S. Senate has been heating up leading up to today. Democrat senior Senator Tom Udall is trying to win his first re-election. He's been ahead in the polls, but Republican Alan Way gained some ground and narrowed Udall's lead. The latest poll shows Udall up by 7 points. A dead heat in the race for Secretary of State. Incumbent Republican Diana Duran battling it out with Democrat Maggie Toulouse Oliver. Toulouse Oliver has been the Bernalillo County clerk for the past 8 years. Duran was the Otero County clerk and a state senator before taking office. The latest poll showing the two neck and neck.
For the first time in 60 years, Republicans could take control of the state's House of Representatives. Right now, the state House has 37 Democrats and 33 Republicans, but voters could change the balance of power. The 4-seat difference means it is a close race, and that is a huge deal for state House Republicans. For decades, Democrats have dominated the state's House. Political experts say there is a good reason that Democrats have been in control for so long. Among registered voters, Democrats have a more than 100,000 person advantage across the state. Of course, we will keep you updated on election results as soon as they become available on air and online at KRQE.com. And tonight, our former anchor Dick Niffing and UNM political science professor Gabe Sanchez are expected to join us with their take of this year's election results.